Hello, dear viewers. Thank you so much for joining me. It's Becca here from Readings by the Empress, and I am doing a reading on love. This is a love layout, a love tarot card spread, and I thought it'd be fun to have the positions clearly marked. I know a lot of you are learning tarot, and that's very good. So good to get more in touch with our intuition, and we only do that through practice. So this is mostly for people who already have a relationship. They've got a relationship in mind when they're looking at this. I'm going to ask you to listen to your intuition for the parts of this reading that apply to you. Since it's a general reading, not everything will apply to you, but I want you to listen to your intuition, and you will certainly get something out of this. Okay, so your card in this relationship is the Four of Cups. Okay, you have had many dissatisfactions. That means you've had lots of, you've had difficult times in relationships, things that they were disappointments or they were sad. These cups are upright, meaning, but you know what? These aren't spilled cups. These experiences were important. They have value. They have emotional value. So these are still upright cups, you know, where you've learned a lot or you've had some really interesting experiences, and we all come here to have interesting experiences, but there's a cup coming in over your shoulder that looks more positive, that's rising, that's high above. So that means there's a message coming in that's quite positive for you. All right, so that's where you find yourself in this relationship. I cannot tell, some of you, these cups that you're kind of dissatisfied with, those messages are from previous relationships. For some of you, those are messages you've received in this relationship that you're not exactly happy about. All right, let's see. For them, we have the Death card for them. Interesting. The end of something for them. Let me see. Let me clarify. Tower. Okay. Well, they may be going through something that is a difficult time, or there's some epiphany that's necessary for some of them. Some of them have shut down, they've closed down, and that's what the Death card means. And the Tower can mean we need an epiphany, we need, or we're having a difficult time, and that's why we've closed down. Interesting. So it looks to me like you're doing a relationship reading about somebody, he or she, who has had a loss or some sort of shutdown. But the Tower could be to blame for that, or there could be a Tower needed for that. And a Tower is an event or an epiphany that changes everything, that sort of shakes everything out from the way it's been and brings the need to rebuild it anew. So interesting. So you two are in different places in this relationship, which doesn't need to be a problem. Let's see about the purpose of the relationship. Wow, we get the Lovers card. Yeah, the purpose of the relationship is love. So this is a relationship where there's a real falling in love. There's a real falling in love, and there's passion, and there is that sense of you know, touching the unconditional love of the divine. Do you know what I'm talking about? When there has been this period in a relationship where you just felt so well loved and so safe, and it really was the divine love coming through that person and through you and through that relationship. So that you were supposed to have that experience with this person. That experience is life-changing, and it's important, even if it's sometimes hard to hang on to. Let's see, relationship strengths. Three of Swords. Okay, so for some of you, again with this, the Four of Cups and the Three of Swords, for some of you, there have been repeated troubles. There's been some repeated heartache. And that comes in the area of strength. Of course, the repeated heartaches could be outside of the relationship. They could have been what went on before. They could be in another area, in the area of work, in the area of extended family. They could be in another area. The repeated hardships, the repeated disappointments. And it comes in the strength position because this relationship has helped you get through. This relationship may have helped you get through. Or it may be that if there are troubles within the relationship, the strength is you keep on going. There's some real staying power. Okay, so relationship weaknesses. Queen of Coins. So the Queen of Coins can be about, now that is the Earth Mother. It can be that you are in a very secure spot. You're in a very secure place. You provide stability emotionally or materially very frequently with the Queen of Coins. And that can be money, but that can also be I do things. I provide help, that kind of thing. So if that's coming up in the weakness position, you may feel like you've done a lot. You may feel like you're contributing a lot to this relationship. You want to stabilize it. So if it's coming in the weakness, you may feel that the other person in this relationship has not. And again, for some, that person's shut down right now. Okay, so let us see. Relationships future. Oh, for goodness, of course, we get the moon. Of course, we get the moon. So if you all aren't familiar, the moon is the card that says the path ahead. There definitely is one. You cannot see it far ahead. The moon says you go by your intuition. You go by the light of the moon, and the moon is intuition. Your intuition is strong. So this relationship has only strengthened your intuition. You are not sure where this is going in the end. That's okay. That's okay. Because your gut will be very strong and tell you which way to go each step of the way. And that is sufficient. That is sufficient. There's enough moonlight to walk ahead. Now the moon card, there's a lot of water here. This means depth of emotion. So this is a relationship where your emotion is really invested. But it's a relationship that's grown you. You've learned so much about yourself in this, and you've learned so much about what you want and what you don't want. This is the purpose, and we're coming on again. Purpose was love. I think it is important I feel like some of you are wondering if you should let yourself fall in love. But the Lover's card, sometimes that letting go of your defenses and letting yourself fall in love is something that opens something within your soul, your heart, your spirit. And laying down those defenses was something you needed to do at that time in your life because it changed you. It did open the door to the divine. It did lay down some defenses deep in your psyche where you grew a whole bunch after that. And you wouldn't have. You wouldn't have had that experience if you hadn't had that experience. So there is value to such courageous actions. I feel like in us, this laying down of the defenses, there is such value in that. It changes us. It matures us. It brings great wisdom. And frequently, it brings a strength and a maturation that, like I said, we otherwise would have had trouble accessing. So this relationship, obviously, with this card as purpose, yes, this was meant to be. This is meant to be. The moon is telling me they're not going to tell me how this ends. It's not important, maybe even how it ends, or whether it gets on solid footing and just takes off. whatever you're listening to this reading for. It's not really, the outcome is not so important as trusting yourself, trusting your intuition, and knowing what to do at each stage of the game. Ask your inner self, what should I do here? What should I say here? Should I try to talk about this? Should I not try to talk about this? How should I view this? So this has been an incredible relationship for your growth and the growth of the other person as well. All right, I thank you. I hope that is helpful to you. Take care. Be loved, love yourself, and we'll talk soon. Bye-bye.